Changemakers, and welcome to The Core, sponsored by Red Apple EdCo. This is your Everything Education podcast. We talk about current events, books to read. We interview education leaders, hear their stories, learn from their biggest lessons, and they share what they wish you knew about what it means to be in education today. I'm your host, Dr. Kia Turner. Buckle up for small seeds of inspiration that can lead to big changes in your classroom practice. Let's take a bite out of today's guest. Hi, you guys. It's Dr. Kia here at EdCampBoston, and I have run into two amazing teachers who work at an IB school, right? So Kyle and Alex, can you tell us how long you've been in the work?
4 years.
I've been teaching high school for 1.5 years and university for 5 before that.
That's amazing. Okay, so then I'm going to stick to my top 5, okay? And then we'll see what happens. We only have 10 minutes anyway till our next session, so we got this. All right, so question 1, why do you teach? What is it that gets you up every day and causes you to continue in this work? What is it?
I think it's the chance to see learning happen. School was always one of my favorite places to be, but I think it's encouraging students to adopt their own learning and to push their brains forward. It's just something that I really like to encourage, and it makes me hopeful.
Probably mine is to see just kids get excited about something, even if it's something they didn't think they would be excited about.
Is that what school did for you? Did it sort of ignite something that you didn't think would be there?
No.
And that's probably for both of you, because you said school is one of your favorite places to be, and we rarely hear that.
I was not excited.
I loved school.
So because you weren't excited, you want to make it an exciting thing. And you loved it and are kind of replicating that experience.
Yeah, trying to replicate the experience I had as best I can.
I love that. Okay. And in a high stakes environment, they work. Is your school one that has like a rolling admission? Is it a lottery? Yeah. You know, we've all seen the documentaries. So the kids put their name in and kind of cross their fingers and jumping down, hoping they get in.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's us.
So then definitely you guys are working hard to create quality experiences for kids, especially when they're putting so much into getting into your rooms.
Right.
That's great. So then question 2, what's one thing that you're doing in your classroom right now, or even if you aren't doing it, maybe a movement in education that you're seeing that you are like, yes, bring this on. I'm so ready. I've been waiting for this to happen. You found me. What is it?
So very topical for what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Teaching plants. So I'm going to try to teach the entire unit with actual plants in their hands, growing from seed and learning everything that's to do with that process, adopting their own plan and learning how that stays alive. So I'm going to try and take just disparate parts of the curriculum and reorder them into the life cycle.
Wow.
Topics.
That is super cool. What made you do that?
I love plants.
Okay.
Most students hate plants, and so I'm trying to make it exciting instead of just a list of more facts they have to memorize. Things they can actually see, do, and touch.
I love that. What about you?
So I'm waiting for the weather to get better, but I usually take time to do like an architecture project where we learn sort of the different orders of classical architecture, different types of columns and pediments and building design and like neoclassical architecture especially. And then I send them out into their communities to take photos and identify those different traits.
Wow.
Because New England has like so much neoclassical styled architecture that it's pretty easy to find. So I'm waiting for the weather to get warmer so we can do that.
And then you're going to post it on Twitter so we can all like it.
Yeah.
Hashtag the hoop. Hey, how do you say your last name?
The hoop.
The hoop is awesome. That's the hashtag we're doing. Yeah. That's what it is. Okay. So then 3, what's one resource you think every educator should know about? One thing that you're like, no matter where you're teaching, you need to know about this thing. This is going to help you. This is going to change your game.
Quizlet.
Ooh, good one. That's good. That's true. I've heard a lot of people say that.
And Quizlet in the write-in version. When they have to write it in, and it uses, Quizlet has a whole model of the spaced repetition. They'll actually space them out based on whether you're getting them right often. They don't show it to you that often. If you keep getting it wrong, they'll show it to you more frequently.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, is it the learn? The learn
I think
mode?
It's a learn mode.
Yeah.
So is that your one thing too?
I'll piggyback off that, yeah. That's a good
Wasn't rules.
I have yet to maximize that in my class, but it's a really good one.
I do
for science when they have to memorize so much.
I do a fun thing where, like, if you have the flashcards, you can print them out, and I'll like cut them in half and then jumble up the cards. And then, like, have students find matches. With stuff, whether it's just like vocabulary or like translation sections, or like right now we're studying mottos and phrases. So like that kind of stuff as well is really fun for them. It's like a fun activity.
Thank you for sharing that. So then 4 of 5, because I told y'all our next session is starting. Number 4, what was your last aha moment as a professional? When's the last time you were like, oh my goodness, right, that's been right in front of me. I get it. The light came on. What was that?
Still yet to figure out what this means, but I had a student that I had for a year and a half who came into me after I'd already closed out the grades. I'll never see them in class again. Who said, actually, I've been going home and telling my parents about your class. I actually liked your class. I never saw that. I never knew you actually liked this class. Mm-hmm. The aha moment is I got to figure out more of those kids. Mm-hmm. Who am I missing? Who is actually enjoying it? Who am I not noticing that actually does want to be there, but is too scared to show me that they like my class?
That's a good push. I think we all have those kids and we're like, but if I had known that, then what could I have done to further cement that relationship with this student or make the experience that I hope it was for them? Mm-hmm. That's super cool. What about you?
So I love board games, and I kind of made a board game.
You are making all kinds of stuff in this class. Okay.
We made like a board game we were studying for the National Latin exam, which was all multiple choice.
Wow.
So they had the exam. They had like little slips of paper with questions on them that went back to the exam. So they would ask each other questions, and they got to move like game pieces around the board. And one of my students who's on an IEP plan actually came and like thanked me for making the learning fun, and thanked me for saying like, I can see that like you're really trying to make it fun and interesting. And so really felt good to get that confirmation that all this effort I put into like making this thing was actually working. So,
that is such a good story.
Games.
Okay, that you create though about Latin. So
I gotta try some.
I mean, you're right. I'm like, who would have thought that? So then 5, to close it out, what is one word or one phrase that you want to get out there to every educator? Like if someone is coming into the profession new, here's something you really want them to hear. Or if someone has questions about kind of what it's like to do this work, here's something you want them to hear. What would that look like if we were to distill it down to like a word or a phrase?
Piece of advice I got going in that I have kept with is start a positivity folder.
Ooh.
When a student writes something down, shares something with you, anything you want to remember, put it in that folder. For all the hard days, go to that folder, open it up, and see the different ways you have positively affected students.
Oh, that is great.
Mm-hmm.
You got a top positivity folder. Go ahead.
I'd say probably mindfulness and self-care would be the two, because I think the profession, the nature of it is to like give yourself to others on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. And so I think one thing I've learned is that I need to invest time for myself for things that are going to be good for me and that I enjoy. So whether it's, exercising, going for a walk, going to yoga, practicing mindfulness, like all that kind of stuff that people might shirk and say, I don't have time for it. Like you always have time for it. You just got to carve out.
Finally, if people have questions for you about how to create complex Latin board games or how to have students interested in botany, where can they reach out to you? Would you like them to DM you on Twitter?
Yeah, at The Hoop, HOUP.
And I will put that below this video. And what about you? Do you have a Twitter?
I do not.
We're judging you.
I know.
We're judging you. So what we're going to do is you're going to DM The Hoop and he'll get the message over to Kyle, because Kyle is pulling it together and joining us here in the 21st. Okay. Well, thank you guys for being on the blog. We got to go, you guys. Our session started. Bye. That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening to The Core. Wherever you are listening to us, be sure to like our show, subscribe, and share the episode that's meant the most to you. We appreciate every single one of our subscribers, as do our sponsors. We look forward to seeing you next week. You can also check us out on YouTube at Red Apple EdCo if you'd like to see more videos video of these conversations. We have them posted there.